Hey guys, Jonathan from Just Nerds here, and this week I've been posting my experiences of all 4 days at Anime Expo. It was a lot of fun vlogging over there, even though I didn't record as much as I could have in 4 days. But since it was my first convention ever, I want to experience a lot of it for myself. But since I have been posting videos on Anime Expo all week, I thought I would give my overall impressions on this year's Anime Expo. So the first day didn't really start out that well. See, pretty much everyone cosplayed except for me and my friend Emily, and most of the cosplays involved a lot of makeup. And pretty much every day started out with waiting for makeup from at least half an hour to an hour, so that wasn't very fun. So first we went to an AMV panel, and then got some lunch, and that was fun. But then we split off with everyone who was in a cosplay, because they kept getting stopped for pictures. From there we went to the exhibition hall, which was the main shopping center, and that was really cool. You had regular people selling merchandise like anime posters, t-shirts, and stuffed animals, and then you had companies like Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Bandai Namco with their own booths, which were pretty cool. And then you also had the artist alley, which was in the back of the exhibition hall, where a bunch of independent artists sold their artwork, which mainly consisted of anime and video game art. And that was probably the coolest part of the exhibition hall, just to see all the talented artists and their artwork. I'm pretty sure half our time at the exhibition hall was just spent at Artist Alley. The other big hall was the entertainment hall, which was mainly filled with games. There were some arcade machines like Dance Dance Revolution and the Crane Machine, but you could also sign up for some tournaments in games like Smash Brothers. And there also seemed to be some old games there as well, like Mario, that you could just play if you wanted, but none of us really did any of that because we were mainly out doing other things and we just wanted to experience as much as we could in the entire expo. But it did look fun, and if I go again, I might check that out some more. But what I enjoyed the most in the entertainment hall was the artwork for Little Witch Academia 2. It was a small space that contained the character designs, storyboards, and even keyframes that are used in the actual animation. I love stuff like that, so even though it was a small space, we spent a good amount of time in there, and we actually visited it twice because of how cool it was. And the two panels we went to that day were the Good Smile Company and Studio Trigger panel. Good Smile Company is a figure company that makes really detailed figures, and between the two panels, Good Smile was the best one, mainly because of how they went over how the figures are made, which just made it really interesting. I really didn't expect it to be that interesting. And the Trigger panel was pretty cool, but also pretty random, like showing a short between a J-pop group and the rock band Kiss. Yeah, Kiss. It was really weird, but overall it was a really enjoyable panel. So that was pretty much it for day one, except for a weird panel Eric and Sonia went to with a drag queen called Miles J. I had no information about that, and me and Emily didn't go to that because it was just too weird. But day 2 was much better and was pretty much the highlight of the entire expo. Our friends were showing up late, so we just started without them and went to the exhibition hall right when it opened. And the crowd for Friday was crazy, and it was easily the craziest day just from the crowds alone. So after a while we met up with everyone again and hung out there for a while. From there we went to go line up for the Little Witch Academia 2 premiere 2 hours early, and it was a good thing we did because it was still a pretty long line by the time we got there. And we showed up right before everyone else did, so lining up 2 hours early was a really good plan. So we're still confused about what happened, but I guess since the line was getting so long, and since there was still room where the panel was going to take place, we got into the room early when the Funimation panel was still taking place. And let me just say, the Funimation panel was probably the worst thing we did at the expo. It was pretty much just Funimation announcing their new anime lineup and their new anime sets that are on sale, while also trying to be funny at the same time, which, trust me, did not work at all. But not even everything was new that they announced. I mean, they even announced the Wolf Children and Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods DVDs, and those came out a while ago. They didn't even announce anything for Ava 3.33, which we're all still waiting for after like over a year of waiting. So that panel was whatever, and we ended up watching it for around an hour and a half in the back of the room, and we were all just so bored. And then finally, when the panel was over and people were leaving, all the people in the back just ran up to the front, and we got great seats in the third row, so it was really easy to read the subtitles. And let me just say, Little Witch Academia 2 was the highlight of the expo for our entire group. I was really excited when I first heard it was premiering at Anime Expo, and while I knew I wouldn't get in, I thought it would be nice if I did, but I still wasn't expecting it to work out. So you can guess how happy I was when we didn't just get in, but we got third row seats as well. And Little Witch Academia 2 was amazing. Everyone in the room loved it, and just the energy of the room made it a really fun experience. Concerning Academia 2, I really enjoyed it, and it was great that Studio Trigger was able to make it a lot longer than the first one, but I personally enjoyed the first one more. Like I said, it was still amazing, and I loved watching it, but I just loved the first one a little bit more. So for day 3, we really didn't do much except for going to the exhibition hall again, where we actually found some Little Witch Academia merchandise, which was pretty awesome. The only panel we went to was the Little Witch Academia Q&A panel, and there were actually some really interesting questions from the audience. And from going to 2 panels hosted by Trigger, it just made me love Trigger more. All the people there, from the animators, the directors, the producers, and even the president himself, just have so much fun with their projects, and they honestly just do what they want to do, which is really admirable, considering it was such a huge risk to leave Gainax and make their own company. So by the end, they stated their wishes to continue on with Little Witch Academia, and that hopefully, with the continuing support from their fans, they can make that dream a reality. So if you haven't already, go check out the first Little Witch Academia on YouTube or something, and support Trigger because they really do deserve it. And day 4 was honestly just a shopping day since there weren't any panels we wanted to go to. We mainly got artwork at Artist Alley, and the art that we got was really cool. And for around an hour, I split off from my friends to line up for a signing by Kotaro Uchikoshi, who is the writer and director for the games 999 and Virtue's Last Reward. These are great games, and I'm glad I was able to get my copy of ELR signed because he has done amazing things with the Zero Escape series. And plus, Zero Escape 3 was also announced at Anime Expo for summer 2016, and that's awesome that we could finally get a conclusion to the story. So that was my experience at Anime Expo 2015, and honestly, it was just a wonderful time. I didn't think it would be that fun since you always hear it's just a lot of waiting in lines, but we actually did a lot of fun things while we were there. The panels were great, well, except for the Funimation panel. The food was good, the people were nice, and while it's not my thing, the people who cosplayed were pretty cool, and there were some really great cosplays like Baymax from Big Hero 6, a lot of characters from Ruby, which was great to see, Pokemon trainers, and just a lot of other really cool cosplays. Seeing all these people cosplaying gave me a new respect for it, now that I see how much effort is put into it. And finally, if I had to take anything away from Anime Expo, it would be not to put fans into one specific group of people. Especially in regards to anime fans, people try to group them into a certain group of people. Even though I am also an anime fan, I'm not nearly as hardcore as a lot of other people. And I'll admit, I was a little worried about the kind of people that would be there. And I have to say, it really surprised me how many different kinds of people were there having a great time. There were people around my age to even full-grown adults. And like I said, everyone I talked to was really nice. Of course, there were some weird people, but as with any group of people, even with other groups of people like sports fans and comic book fans, there are also preconceived notions that people make, and I think this Anime Expo just showed me that those notions usually aren't true. So that's really all I have to say about this Anime Expo. Overall, it was just a great fun experience, and I might even consider going again next year. So thank you for sticking around till the end, even though I rambled on for a while on some points, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.